Okay, what we've got here is a Civil 3D surface. I'm using Control Shift and the little mouse button to orbit around it. And underneath that, we've just got an attached aerial image. That still seems to be the best one to bring in an aerial image. You don't seem to be able to use a clip of the bin maps in this circumstance. So I'm here, and in my top view, you can see I didn't quite get my aerial image big enough, but we'll go through this process anyway. So we've got our surface, which I've taken in a different video from memory. And what we want to do is we want to do our drape command. So what you'll find, actually I'm just going to turn this image off because you don't really need to see it at the moment. So I'll just turn it off. The only things that we really need with our drape command are is we need to make sure that we've got a good working surface. So when I click on that, you'll see below tin surface pops up. And if we are in not 3D modelling but in the Civil 3D mode, you will see that I am able to come to my surface properties. No, sorry, I can come here to my drape image. So that's a pretty simple, really simple way of getting an aerial image onto a surface. All you need to remember is that in your surface properties, or your surface style, sorry, that under display you've got your triangles on, or else it won't display. So you just do your drape command, and then you can go to your 3D modelling, and you can go to visualize, and you can turn your materials and textures on. So just have a look at that. So if we orbit, we should be getting our aerial image, which just at the moment we're not. And if that happens to you, you might just need to select it, right click, and go to the object viewer. For some reason, sometimes the aerial image just doesn't show up. Alright, so we've got our aerial image on, and one of the things that you will notice is that it has done a really nice job of getting that in the right place. And this is something that I'm still not getting right when I'm bringing this into Max, but I will show you how far I have got so far. Alright, so we've got our beautiful draped image on there, and we can just save that. And if we come back to our Civil 3D mode, we can grab the surface and go to the Output tab and export that to 3ds Max. Now, I've already done this several times, so I won't do it too many times again, but if I go to Export to 3ds Max, I don't have any corridors in here, I don't have existing or working, I've just got this one surface. And I just leave all of those things the same. I haven't found that I need to put anything into the material options, and I haven't been able to add a rule, so I just export. And I might just call this just to show how we're going to go through, and close. So if I then open up 3ds Max, I will need to instigate my CivilView. So my CivilView will be, that's like a little plugin that enables 3ds Max to fork to Civil 3D. Alright, so what I will need to do when I'm in here is I'll need to initialize CivilView. So it'll start itself up, and then I'll need to come to CivilView again, geometry import, and come to Civil 3D VPSD files. Now I'll have to go and browse to that file, shaping landscape, and we are in our AutoCAD folder, surfaces from Civil, X. Right, now there's a couple of funky things that happen here, so I just need to tick this. It looks like I don't bring in any styles, so I can just go OK. These numbers here are really important because these are your global shift settings. So you need to note those down because otherwise, essentially anything you bring in from a different program, it's not going to shift into the right spot. So it's just shifting. It's saying that these coordinates are going to become 0, 0, 0. That's fine. This video isn't about that. Now, feature interpretation styles allow you to assign road markings, yada yada. You have not selected a feature interpretation style. Are you sure you wish to proceed without applying? Yes. Alright, so now I've got my object. Here it is, and of course my drape hasn't shown up. And even if I go to my render, you'll see that it is just this kind of weird generic green. Clearly there's stuff going on there because it has actually brought in some civil materials, but now we need to kind of tell it how to look for those materials. So in our Civil View, if we go to Civil View and we go to our, let's see, Civil View Explorer, and we come in here to our Civil View materials, you can see that it has actually brought in a material here. So we can open that up and we can see that it's brought in Civil View surfaces. Now that is a 50 channel multi-sub-object material, but channel 31 is a special channel. So channel 31 is that's our ground type 4, and it is the one that has the drapes in it. So it's this one that we need to adjust. So if we go into our surface here, surface 1, and we go into our draping here, now you can see bitmap placement is 31, and if I go to choose bitmap and I browse to my original image, and this I think is where we would actually want to not have the original image but have the draped image, but I need to find out where Civil has saved that, which I can't work out quite yet. So for the moment I'm just going to stick in this original one. Open. I'm going to say yes to that. And as you can see, it still hasn't changed, and that is because we need to come back in here and tell it that within its editable mesh, if I select the whole lot and I come all the way down here to its ID, so I'm going to select this object, you can see that its ID is set to 27. Now I think there's probably a way to bring it in so that it defaults to 31. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this ID to 31 here under the editable mesh surface properties. Now I think what that will do is that should give us what we want if we press render preview. Maybe not, so there might be a couple of other steps I need to take. Okay, so it is kind of interesting because this is, I'm having quite different things happen each time I do this. So if I open my CivilView and I look at that material, if I go into CivilView materials, into surfaces and scroll down to 31, you're seeing I'm actually getting that material coming through there. And if, see, it's coming out black, but if I add a UVW channel to this now, UVW map, it'll probably show up. Yeah, so it is showing up, and you can see I've just managed to find material 31 in that ridiculous amount of stuff that's coming through from CivilView, and you can see that that is ground surface 4 with the ground bitmap on it. Yeah, would really love to know how to get the one that's draped properly, but we'll get there. Alright, so I've also just in here in the environment, I've put an HDRI environment in the background, and so when I press my real-time renderer, I am getting that bitmap in place quite nicely. So a few more edits to do with it because it's clearly not cropped quite correctly, but that is a should be a reasonably easy way to bring an aerial image in with your 3D surface. So, it's be quite useful if it worked. Nice, predictable way. That would be lovely. Right, thank you.